Yes.
And there he is. Hey, Robert, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you today?
And I
Yes,
I'm
great,
good.
great, great. Well, you all, we
Made it
have
to
an
another
amazing
week.
show today. Yes, we made it to another week, and we have a guest today, and we have Miriam Frost, who is the owner of Power Yoga, joining us today. Hi, Miriam.
Hello, sweetie. How are you?
Great. How are you?
I am
Hey, how you
wonderful.
doing, Miriam?
I am fantastic.
Well, today we are going to be talking about really life. Life is crazy, right? Life
Yes.
is
Life is
really
crazy right now at times. Yes, it
yes.
is.
It is, but we are going to talk today about how to live, love, and laugh anyway, in spite of it, because of
Absolutely.
it. We can laugh at it.
We can laugh. Oh
Absolutely.
yeah.
Right. So,
Absolutely.
and then we got to give a shout out to our producer over here, Versus, because she's also in the shot. Hey, Versus. So we
What's
are
up,
talking.
versus?
Yes. So we are going to be looking at all things live, love, laugh today. We are going to be looking at yoga, some of the benefits, some of the things you might not have known about it. It'll be interesting because I'm going to put talk about some research that I'm not even sure Miriam knows about. I didn't tell her, so we'll see.
Yeah,
Okay.
good. I'm excited.
We shall see. But yeah, so we have really a lot to cover today, as always, but definitely want to keep you all involved. So check us out. Go to our live feed on the Sensation Station Network page if you're not already there. And you can comment and join in on the conversation. If you are listening through iTunes, give us a call, 678-613-5857. Did I say iTunes? I didn't mean that. What tune in. If you're listening to us via tune in, 678-613-5857. So stay with us. We are going to, like I said, talk about live, love, laugh, and yoga. All right. Welcome back to the live exchange. I'm Dr. Pamela.
Again.
And it sounds like Robert's having some sound difficulties, so we're going to just bear through until he gets back online. But just look at his lovely face while we are having a conversation. Joining us today is Miriam Frost. She is the founder of Stella Power Yoga, and she is here to help us with an amazing discussion on life is crazy. Live, love, and laugh anyway. And that is what we are going to be trying to figure out today. How do we live, love, and laugh anyway, in spite of what is going on? Because of what is going on, we can live, love, and laugh anyway. And so also in the shot here is our lovely producer, Versus, who is running this, the operations for us in the background. So those of you who are listening to us on TuneIn, definitely give us a call, engage in this conversation, 678-613-5857. Or if you are on Sensation Station Network's Facebook Live, you can definitely jump on and comment because we want to hear what you have to say. So Miriam, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad to be here with you, Pamela, once again.
Yes, you were here almost 2 years ago, and we were talking health and wellness back then, and
yes,
things were very different.
It was very different. We were just 1 year in business. We had just opened a year, the studio. Now we're into the 3rd year, and here we are dealing with coronavirus.
Yes.
So
yes.
how
And,
interesting is that?
right. And so it sounds like you have managed to pivot to just kind of, move with what has happened. So what are you all doing now?
Absolutely. So basically, once the coronavirus hit, I think it was around the middle of March is when I had decided to close the studio because of what was going on. Around March 15th. And basically, I took a 2-week pretty much just kind of reassessing and realized that it was time to change the entire business model. And and from there, it's like, I worked so hard on the original business model. So it was time to figure out how to persevere and create a new business model. So what we do here at the studio, every month we focus on a specific word, a power word, and a power pose to go along with it. So this month had to be perseverance. And we just kind of, we implemented perseverance in the classes and the verbiage and in how we share information with people. And then I had to gain a whole different understanding of what perseverance meant to me. And in order for me to share that with what we're giving to the community, I had to get a more enlightened understanding of what perseverance really means. And so what I came up with was, is having an attitude towards fear.
An attitude towards fear.
Towards fear.
I'm not dealing with you, fear. Like, I don't like you, fear.
Attitude that you have towards fear. What can you do for me? And what have you done for me lately? Because if it hasn't been something that I needed to get through these challenges, then we need to have a conversation here. Where is this coming from? How can I use you, fear, to help me get through these challenges? That's perseverance.
I love it. I could do bad all by myself without you, fear.
Yes, ma'am. And we can take that fear and we turn it into power. We turn that fear into power. What am I going to do? I have to change the entire business model. And of course, you have staff. You want to look out for your staff. You want to look out for your member base. This is a place of healing and growing. And so how can I do that virtually? So I had to really put my hat on and just like I tell a lot of my members, like, I laid off for 2 weeks because I can't give you what I don't have. And I can't get my teachers to give you what I don't have to give to them. So what do they have to give to you? So I pulled back for about 2 weeks. And then the third week I came in and we did a couple of beta testing. Technology is not my gig, but I won't say that anymore because I've created a whole, It is now. And actually it's so funny how God works is you create this perseverance attitude, and you implement some perseverance in a different capacity than you never knew that you could do. And now you've created a whole new dynamic of things that you didn't know that you couldn't do because you didn't know and you wasn't put in that position to do it.
Right.
So now that we've done it, and the third week we went in, we did a beta test and a couple of classes. Yeah, we had some technical issues. We're still learning and growing. But as we continue to update the business model, this is something that I will embrace even after coronavirus.
Yes.
Because we can reach so many people that we couldn't reach physically. We can figure out how to make this connection, just like we're making a connection right now.
Yes.
By just the small things. Like we'll have maybe about 10 people on the screen, and we'll just call out people's name. And I see you in that pose.
I love it.
We're connected. You're not by yourself. And I never thought that technology could actually make that happen, but I did not know what I did not know, and I know it now. We can make it happen. It's going to take some work. It's going to take some work, and
always
more perseverance and some more enlightenment and understanding. However, what I've learned is nothing good comes easy, right?
Right. And change or die, and so the same goes for businesses. If we don't know how to change or adapt, or we don't, like you did, took the time to do the changing and the adaptation, you'll get swept away, with everything that's going on, but you adapted. I think there's so many lessons in that. So we're going to go to a break, but thank you so much for that. There were so many nuggets in there that I can't wait to dig into. So stay with us, y'all. Robert's going to be back with us. Don't worry. And we'll be right back on the live exchange. All right. So trending. So there's lots of things happening. States are reopening. As of Friday of this week, Georgia officially reopened. Not completely. Only the businesses where people do the most touching open. So bowling alleys, the movie theaters, not the movie theaters. But the gyms and the salons and the barbershops and the massage places and the tattoo places open for business in Georgia. So apparently there are a lot of states around the country that have opened as of Friday. But the reason why it's, I guess, such big news for Georgia to have opened is because of the way that Georgia opened. There are other states throughout the country, and there's a whole list here that I was looking at of states that opened, but in a different way, so that if you're a business that doesn't have service that requires face-to-face close contact service with people, you work in offices where they opened those businesses and allowed them to create their own social distancing type standards. But with Georgia, the list is barbershops, gyms, salons, massage therapists, and then on Monday, restaurants and movie theaters will be able to open. So it's really interesting, because it's as if there was absolutely no strategy as it pertains to safety. There's some strategy, I'm sure, but as it pertains to safety with the reopening of these businesses. But I'm curious to know, Miriam, with you having a business that does engage and involve close contact, it could, depending on how it's done. How is this affecting your business? Is this, where are you on this in terms of your own business?
As far as opening, so we're absolutely not opening right now. The only way that we're going to open is when that curve flattens or starts to decrease. Yes, it is. Our original business model was to have people packed in here, 30, 20 people at a time. However, that's not safe, and it's going to take us phases to phase that back in. And I don't know what that looks like. It may even take till August. So in my mind, what I'm projecting is projected way out, so that if it's in the fall or something, because I'm concerned about it coming back again.
The resurgence.
The resurgence. So I need to be prepared if I start bringing people back in. And of course, I would do it in phases. It would start with 5 signups, then 10, and 15. And then every time we get into the level where people are here, if that spike starts to spike up again, we're pulling back. We're going right back down. So no, there's absolutely no way that we can actually, I would feel comfortable in my heart and sleep well at night to actually open and full steam ahead. Now, I do plan to, again, once the curve is flattened, we'll start bringing people back in the studio. However, what we will do is, again, a new business model, taking it outside, taking out to the parks, 10 people. Yeah.
So perfect time of year for that.
Yeah. So, we can, I've always believed where there's a will, there's a way. We don't have to allow fear to stop us from being creative. There is healthy fear. Like, we're not going to stand on a roof and like on the tippy toes of the roof and think it won't fall accidentally. So there is healthy fear. However, we won't allow fear to stunt our understanding of growth and changing and evolving and persevering through the challenges that we face.
Right. That's brilliant. And that you said, it challenges our creativity. We've got to, come up with new solutions, new ways to do things. And I think that's absolutely, you hit it on the head, whether we are speaking from the standpoint of a business or from our own lives, what we do with our children, how we navigate relationships, because for some people now you're in the house all day, every day with that significant other. How do you navigate that? Do you need scheduled time away? I think I probably would need that. Thankfully, I'm not cohabitating with a significant other, but if I was, I'd be like, look, we need to schedule 3 or 4 hours away. I'm upstairs, you're downstairs.
Yeah. Excuse me.
No, you're fine.
You bring me to a point. One of the things that I was trying to, as I'm meditating and focusing on, how can I continue to help people and actually help people better than I did? To me, situations, if you're not sick or you're not dealing with someone who's sick or someone, you're pretty much, you're fine. You're fine. You still have work to be, there's work to be done for you. So if you're not dealing with that type of situation, we have the ability to help others that are becoming sick or mental illness. We have the ability to help the homeless. We have the ability to do so much other work that we never really emphasized as much. So I really believe that out of all of this, there's a growth that must come out of it. I'm going to be looking at side-eyed at people that don't grow from this experience,
Right?
I'm on the side-eyed, like, if you didn't learn from this, I don't care where you come from. if you didn't learn from this experience, I'm gonna there's something that you still need to work on internally, and that's why I love the yoga. But here's what I want to share with you that because people are always looking for answers, right? What can I do now during coronavirus? Intermittent fasting, social media, alcohol, the news. What this will do, it will bring.
Say that. I'm going to repeat this. Intermittent fasting of social media, alcohol, and the news.
And food.
And food.
And food.
Four things.
Yes. So what this will do is this will bring better clarity. So people want to know, okay, I'm going to do this, but what's going to happen for me? You'll have better clarity through this. Exercising. What is exercising going to do for you? It's going to build confidence. And confidence is what we show to the world, right? But the beauty of yoga, it builds self-esteem. So it's building yourself from the inside. Building self-esteem, practicing meditation, practicing yoga, getting into your body. If you get into your body and you get to know yourself, it's not about you dealing with someone who's in the room with you. It's about you getting to know yourself. So when you get to know yourself, and you can decide what you want to keep and what you want to get rid of. But how do you figure out about yourself? Is being in that yoga practice, is being quiet, is being still, and sitting in whatever stuff that you got going on, and then you can learn to get better from the inside, increasing self-esteem.
Wow. No, that's good. I'm going to stop you there so we can go to a break, and I want to chew on all of those nuggets that you just brought up. So stay with us, everyone. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back to the Live Exchange. I'm Dr. Pamela, and today we are talking about how life is crazy right now, but we're going to live, love, and laugh through it anyway. And so today's trending topics is brought to you by Shalon Willis Beauty Architect. She is the one who is typically responsible for the look on my face every week. She handles all the makeup and the beauty, and you may notice a lash kind of flapping around or something. That's because I had to do it myself today because of the whole. So yeah, I've noticed. It's so funny because I've noticed I can tell the reporters who are on, the news and stuff who are doing their own makeup, and some of them are doing okay. It's not my forte. So yes, check out Shalon. She does do makeup tutorials, many of which I have been watching and checking out. I think she does them on Tuesdays, but you can find her at Beauty Architect on all social media platforms. So today's research, and I don't know if you're aware of this, Miriam, but there is this type of yoga that is called laughter yoga. Have you heard of this?
I have.
Of course she's heard of this.
I have. We're doing it right now.
Right, we're doing it right now. It is incredibly fascinating to me. And the reason why I looked this up is because I was listening to a Facebook Live of somebody, and I can't remember, I can't remember. But it was this idea that when you laugh, it actually massages the inside of you. So it's like you're giving yourself an internal massage when you laugh. And I thought, I love that. So I had to dig into it a little more, and lo and behold, there was this thing called laughter yoga. And I said, wow, we are having a yoga expert on the show today. This is perfect. So really, it is what they're calling a global movement for health, joy, and world peace. And the yoga, it's a new type of yoga that's started a few years ago by a medical doctor from India as a way to prescribe laughter for his patients. So now hundreds of thousands laugh daily, and says it gives them a new positive outlook on life. It cures depression, and it keeps people healthy. And just some of the benefits, actually, University of Texas, the MD Anderson Cancer Center has added laughter as a part of the treatment for the patients there. That's fascinating to me.
Wow, amazing. Laughter has always been something that gets us through tough times.
Yes.
A friend of mine was, we were spending some time together, and we were talking, and honestly, is the best part of the conversation was the laughter. And even when we teach our classes, when we're here, I have some of the funniest teachers. They have some real good jokes. We laugh at ourselves if we get in a pose and we're saying, yeah, do this, and we wind up falling out of the pose. That's hilarious.
Right.
So it's, yeah, laughter can really move a lot of anxiety and
Absolutely.
stress and depression. Whether you're doing it in a yoga class, I've never had it done here where everybody's just laughing. However, but do we like engage in happy moments and funny moments? Do we, say things and the whole class busts out laughing? Absolutely. So funny. I have this thing that I say, I'll try to crack a joke and I'm like, don't worry about it. My kids don't think I'm that funny either. And then now everybody starts laughing. So I'm like, as long as I think I'm funny, and then everybody laughs. So
right.
It's just the soft humor of just being happy and
I love it.
and finding a moment to be happy, even though we're in a bad situation. I feel the same way about music. Music is another thing that sees as healing and releases so much tension. There's not that many things that you can, when you're on your yoga mat, the human part of you comes out. It's all human. And when you have a community that is accepting of who you are, they accept your laughter, they accept your type of music, your humor, they accept you for exactly who you are. And that's one of the things that's really important for me is I don't want anybody to be excluded from feeling that they don't belong. Now, if you do something that this is doing, that's totally different.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you're respecting and you're doing the things that are respectful to the next person, whether it's a coworker or another teacher or a member, as long as you're being respectful to yourself as well as other, we're good. So let me share something that's really important that people need to understand. Yoga is just not one thing. So we have something called the 8 limbs of yoga. Okay, there's 8 parts of it. So you have the physical part of it, which is asana. So you do all the poses, and whether you choose to stand on your head, you're welcome to do so. If you just want to do regular warrior poses, core strengthening poses, that works the physical body, right? So you have your physical, and then you have your focus. Your focus, we call it drishti. We use the eyes to focus on things, and we use those elements of yoga, the 8 limbs, to help you understand what they are in you so that when you go out to the world, you can also utilize them. They come easier. So you have your asana, you have your focus, you have your meditation, okay? And then you have what we call pratyahara. It's basically the senses. So your sense of smell, sometimes it could be sexual, whatever. It's having a detachment from those things so they don't control you, your senses. Okay, and then you have yamas and niyamas, which is super important. So the yamas and niyamas represent the morality that you care for yourself, your truth, and what kind of good person that you are to yourself. How do you take care of yourself? Do you eat well? Do you try to talk to yourself with good verbiage? And then you have the other one, the social morale. How do you treat society? Okay. So there's 8 limbs, and then you have, and then you have the very top one, which is called samadhi. Samadhi is, to me, I interpret it as an enlightenment. It's your connection between you and your higher power, your spirituality. And what you want to achieve when you get to a point of samadhi is bliss. Bliss is feeling peace, that I share with people all the time. Peace is not an emotion. Peace, like, joy or shame or guilt or pain or happiness, those are emotions. Peace is not emotion. Peace is a state of mind. So if you can attain that state of mind of feeling peace in all of those different emotions, that's what we're trying to achieve, bliss, which is samadhi. So, you know what I mean? So a lot of people, it's just yoga, I see people doing this. It's so many different elements. It's a work in progress on yourself. Completely.
So, and I think this answer probably would have come out with this question or this subject that I wanted to bring up, because when I bring up yoga around certain circles, there's all these misconceptions, and so when we talk about, for example, Christianity and looking at how some Christians view yoga, there have been movements where they've wanted to move yoga practices into schools, which I think is a phenomenal idea. And then you'll have parents protesting it because there's, the practices are this, that, and the other. And I don't want to go into all the things that Christians have said about yoga, because I did some reading on that, and I was like, we don't need to bring that into the show. But as you know, some misconceptions and reservations. What do you have to say about that? Because I know that you also have your own foundation of spirituality, and you do yoga. How does the
And I was brought up Christian, and I am still Christian. So here's what I say to that. So it is a Hindu religion. It originated, and originally when yoga first came about, men could only practice it; women could not practice. Okay, so there's so much history to it. So how I view it is what has yoga evolved to, and what can it do for me today? Okay, so when I do my trainings, and I've done my trainings, and I keep it very surfaced. Like I don't have Buddhas in here. I don't go into the spirituality of things, because this is not what I'm trying to promote. I'm not trying to promote anybody's religion, but I am trying to promote things that actually work. And I don't share anything verbiage-wise, information, knowledge, or wisdom that I may have or learn from with anyone unless I've experienced it and learned from it myself.
Right.
Okay, so that's my integrity. But as far as sharing with someone and saying, keep whatever religion you're in, because we have Jewish teachers, we have Christian teachers, we have Baptist teachers, keep Muslim teachers, keep whatever religion you're in. Don't let that deviate you from practicing something that's going to benefit you from the inside out, right? So here's what I did. When I did my training. And I remember praying, literally going into prayer. When I would sit in my training, and then it was like, okay, I'm feeling something. I'm learning about myself. Some things are coming up from childhood. Okay, I'm learning about all this amazing stuff that's coming up for me. And then what I immediately went to is my faith. I went in prayer mode. So you go to what works for you and whatever you believe in. I'm very careful with folks who do training with me, because I want to make sure that they are safe. Because when you open yourself up, you become vulnerable. And the only
what does safe look like?
Safe look, it's so funny. Someone asked me that the other day. You ask yourself how you feel. If you ask yourself, do I feel safe sharing this information or sending this? And you have to hesitate and question, hold that thought.
Oh, that's good. That's a perfect point to go to break, but that is such an important point. If you've got to trust yourself, you've got to trust, what you feel it for a reason. So, yes. So, okay. Wow. Again, so much, but stay with us. Let us know if you have any questions, if you have any thoughts, if you'd like to be a part of this conversation, and we will be right back. All right. So the balance challenge for this week is related to our research, which, by the way, I did not say. So the balance is brought to you by PZ Heads, and PZ Heads is a natural hair salon that specializes in locks and braids and a lot of amazing natural hairstyles. So definitely check them out. And they also have a line of products called Daisy's Garden. Everybody loves the lemon butter cream, so check it out at PeezyHeadz.com. All right, so the balance challenge for this week is related to our research, which is to laugh. I want you to be intentional. What I love about this yoga, the style of yoga, this laughter yoga I brought up earlier, is that it's intentional. We are going to be intentional about laughing, because I don't know if people realize how long they may go without laughing, or how serious they may become over time, especially when the weight of the world is on their shoulders, and there's just not a second to just stop and laugh. And I know that I have to be intentional about just some things that I want to do to maintain, like exercising, going to walk, the 4 things that Miriam had talked about: fasting, the alcohol, food, media, and news, social media and news, correct? Was those the 4?
Correct.
And so in doing those things, you've got to be intentional. So I am adding another one in terms of intentionality, which is to laugh. So every day this week, every single day this week, I want you to make sure you have found a way and a reason to laugh. If you've got to turn on Dave Chappelle or whoever you like, whatever you like, whatever you need to do, or call a friend or whatever, or if you just need to sit down and just laugh, do it. Because there are so many health benefits to doing so. And I'll just tell you a few. It's efficient exercise. 10 minutes of hearty laughter is equal to 30 minutes of rowing or jogging. What?
Wow.
Laughing is enjoyed by everyone. It feels good throughout your body. It improves circulation. So the diaphragm movement that happens with laughing, it causes more oxygen to be sent to your cells. And so this is how it improves circulation. And this is the last one I'm going to list. There's a lot more, but I'll give you more later. It boosts the immune system. Yes. And we need that right now. Yes. So this week, your job, your challenge is to laugh every single day this week. Do you have anything to add to that, Miriam?
You know, when you said boost the immune system, you just opened up just a huge box for me. Yes, laughing will boost your immune system, but I don't think folks realize how much yoga boosts your immune system, because it releases stress. It takes away from you. It depletes away all the anxiety and the fears and uncertainties. And also, too,
wait, let me stop you. We're going to go to a break. I should have told you, like, one quick step.
When you said immune system, I'm in.
But we are going to talk. Let's let that be where we start off, with the immune system and yoga when we come back. So stay with us. We'll be back.
Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm.
All right, welcome back to the Live Exchange. I'm Dr. Pamela, and Robert Pierce is joining us virtually. He's on Facebook Live, and he's kind of with us in this conversation, but he was having some technical difficulties, so he is still with us, though. And our guest today is Miriam Frost. She is the founder and owner of Stella Power Yoga, and today we are talking about how life is crazy, but we're going to live, love, and laugh anyway. And so the balance challenge was to find a way to laugh every single day this week. I know that might be some work for some of y'all. Be intentional. And one of the things that, one of the benefits of laughter is that it boosts the immune system. So I also would love for Miriam to talk about how yoga also serves to boost the immune system, which is something we all need right now.
Sure, absolutely. So a lot of things that I'm hearing is that, you know, the folks who are getting sick are the ones who have their immune system is compromised. So yes. It went into a dialogue of my thinking. It's like, okay, that was one of the things that I focused on the 2 weeks that I closed, is how can we increase the immune system? How can we help people? And I just think it's just so amazing, because I have friends who are, you know, they're entrepreneurs and in the making. And everyone is thinking of all these different ways to, boost the immune system. And of course, exercising, yoga, absolutely, because it decreases stress and anxiety and anticipation and all that stuff, because it allows you to calm your nervous system. And also the main thing is we need strong lungs, right? We need to in order to fight anything that's going to come our way physically. Yeah. So the breathing, we call pranayama breath, which is part of the 8 limbs. It increases the lung capacity. So we breathe, we do 3-part breath, 4-part, it's all kinds of breath exercises that we do. And then what happens is you increase your lung capacity when you do yoga. I remember a couple of years ago, when before I even had the studio, I remember I'd go to the doctor because I did exercising and yoga. And the doctor was so amazed at how, he's like, well, how much do you exercise? He can tell by listening to my lungs that my breath capacity, So we really have to keep this working in our bodies and working our lungs and our system to not only feel good and look good, but to actually truly be good on the inside.
I love it. And that's key from the inside out. We're so concerned about what we look like on the outside, and we got to take care of that inside. You know, people exercise, and I'm guilty because I want to stay in shape and, be cut and this and that. But what about the inside? And so Robert actually has a question that he just posed on Facebook Live. He's saying, can you, because I can't, can you tell him about the benefits of hot yoga? Is there something that hot yoga does differently?
Well, I love it. So my studio is hot. It's a heated studio. So, all right, so here's the difference. So you have non-heated, you have warm, and you have hot. Hot is over like 110, 105. We don't go that far. This is just my own philosophy. We stay at 85 to 95, maybe 97. So my philosophy is this. Just like when you're exercising a routine and you're getting ready to get exercise, you need to warm up. I feel that the body needs to, in order to go into some of these poses, because you're stretching and you're lengthening and you're doing all this engagement with the ligaments and the muscles, you need to be warm to be able to get into those poses, right? So you don't want to go into them cold. You want your body nice and warm. So if the temperature in the room is already warm, your body's already ready to go into some of these poses, and you can master them at your pace, right?
Right.
If it's too hot, I just have a feel that your mind might trick you into thinking that you can go deeper than you can if it's too hot. Yeah, so now you cause injury. So I always look for that middle ground. Is we don't want it too hot. We don't want it not hot enough. Keep it warm, keep it at a temperature that people will get a benefit from it, sweat out the toxins, engage in flexibility, but not too far. With, opening the studio, same thing. You want to do it, you want to be right in the middle. You don't want to jeopardize people's lives, but you also need to bring service to people who need it, especially now.
Yeah, that's great. That's good. I had no idea. Another question that he's asking, and I wonder, is this partially related, and I don't know if Robert got to hear that part of the conversation, but related to the question I asked about, Christians' views of yoga and why some people may be apprehensive about it due to maybe some spiritual roots that aren't compatible with their own. So I'm not sure if this is the basis for Robert's question, but I'm just going to pull that into it. What part do mantras play in yoga or meditation?
Mantras, just like anything that you do in addition to a class, like we do something called it sounds something like this. And it's a sound, right? It's a vibrational sound. So how we view it is a frequency. The higher your frequency, the higher light information you have. Same thing with mantras. The lotus. The prayer hands. So all of these things is by choice. Like we don't require, depending on what studio you go to, nobody, as far as I know, requires you have to do prayer hands, or you have to do lotus, or you have to do you don't have to. But if you feel comfortable to do it, because I remember when I did my training, I wasn't umming until I knew what it was. And
I've never heard it the way that you just did it. It was just beautiful. It was amazing.
Thank you. In Sanskrit, like you'll hear someone say Utkatasana, which is chair pose. We use Sanskrit. Sanskrit is the native original language from India, where 23, 33, 43 languages derive from Sanskrit. It's the original language. So if I teach a class and I say Utkatasana, and I'll say chair pose, this way you know what I'm saying, and you're not like what did she just say? Or only the people who know what Sanskrit is can do it. Everybody is included. So I think it's just educating people. Do what you feel works for your spirit. If it doesn't work for your spirit, then leave it out. Maybe you might want to do it another time. Maybe you don't, but it's not a requirement. This studio, no spirituality. We don't emphasize anybody's religion. But as far as like what I speak to, I will speak to a place from my learning experience. So if I share something with you and I say, courage is being able to not only stand up for something, but to also sometimes sit down. That is my spiritual gut, is coming from my gut, from my experience, and I understand how it works, and I'm sharing that with you. If it lands on you, and most of the time it does, because it's coming from that intentional good place, you'll know it in your gut.
Well, and this is the second time you've really emphasized that idea of the gut and really trusting what comes from that. So when you said earlier, and I think it's worth repeating, that if, when I asked you, well, what's safe and what's not safe? And you said what's not safe is what doesn't, you might say it better than me, what doesn't feel safe? Or
ask yourself, you have to ask yourself, how do I feel right now? Because it could be you could have an underlying fear that you're just not ready to open up yet. And that's fine. Because you want to make sure you're safe. So I tell people, come. The first class you can come in is free. Come in a couple times. Get comfy. If you're not comfy, I'm cool. And most time people are comfortable. Actually, most of our members actually grow and go to other places and grow their practice. So they pretty much they find what they feel comfortable and welcoming, and they don't feel like they're I don't want to emphasize, but like they don't feel like it's like a group that's only for us. Nobody's included. It's not that type of party. We're all included in this party. Everyone, whatever walk of life you come from. We're a very diverse studio, diverse in size, in religion, in culture. I remember having a class that I did. It was New Year's. We do a New Year's class. We had about 45, 50 people in this room. And it was awesome. We do it every New Year's. We bring in champagne afterwards and everything in celebration. And I remember telling a story of a little girl who lived in New York around so many diverse people, and how this little girl didn't care for groups that were segregated to themselves. So you had the Spanish and the white and the black and the Chinese, and everybody was segregated. And this little girl was me. And this little girl grew up to always know, because I remember creating my own. I said, okay, since y'all want to be grouped up, I'm going to have a group. And it was one of everybody. Nobody was excluded from that group. It didn't matter what you looked like or how you spoke, or if you didn't even speak English. It didn't matter. You were cool. And lo and behold, I look around the room, New Year's, you had Asian, you had white, you had black, you had everybody. And we all realized that we had one thing in common. We all don't want to feel alone. We all don't want to feel left out.
Yeah, human connection.
So how do we make those connections happen? Is one thing that I've learned is having a greater understanding for someone else's experiences. Not that you have to agree. We don't have to agree. Yeah. But having a greater understanding for how they come to that understanding of what they view. And same thing, understanding yourself the same way. It's an interesting and fascinating way to view the world, instead of going to one side and say, I don't want to be over there. Or I don't want to be over there with that group. I don't want to be with that group. It's like, how did they become this way? And it's a greater understanding. And only somebody is telling you the bliss, I believe, can get you to a place where it's even intriguing enough for you to even get close to that peaceful satisfaction of yourself. Remember, we're a reflection of other people. If we feel a certain way about ourselves, we're going to project that onto others.
Absolutely.
But if we start working on this, we can see that in others too.
Well, it's interesting because what you're saying right now is, and as I look at the country, as I look at, I could probably extend this out to the world, but I see this really happening in our country where we have so many factions right now. And we were already, separated out by race and religion, but now we're separated out by, let's go back to work, let's not go back to work. Go for the president, let's not go for the president. There's so many factions right now. And so I think what you're saying is so important for us to try. It's an important goal for us to try to figure out how to bring everybody together. So we have to go to break. If you have quick to throw out there.
It's a lot, but yes, I'm totally with what you're saying. And we have to see a greater picture. A bigger picture.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you. We'll be right back. All right. Good evening and welcome to the second half of the live exchange. I'm Dr. Pamela. Robert Pierce is with us on Facebook Live. So he is watching and he's commenting and he is fully engaged with what's going on. And today we are talking about life is crazy, Live, Love, and Laugh Anyway. And we have Miriam Frost, who is the owner and founder of Stella Power Yoga. And she's here helping us with this conversation about how to live, love, and laugh in these times. And one of the ways that she was just speaking to was how to build alliances and cross those boundaries and connect with people who may not be necessarily like you, but there is a commonality. We all have that commonality of human connection. And you know what, one of the things that I am blown away by the ways that we have found to connect with each other through this whole coronavirus thing. The way your studio is doing virtual, the way my daughter's birthday is tomorrow. We're doing a birthday party via Zoom and, you know, drive-by parade and, you know, so people find ways.
That's gonna be awesome.
I know.
I love it.
Yes. And so we find ways. And so I love and appreciate what you're sharing. And I know we kind of, had to go to break. And so I wanted to see if you had, more that you were going to add to that, to that piece.
Yeah. I just think that in order for us to have a greater understanding of other people and other cultures and why they do the things that they do, whether good or bad, is that we have to have a willingness to be open enough to understand. Doesn't mean we have to agree.
Right.
Doesn't mean it doesn't hurt, because it does hurt.
Right.
Some of the things they were saying about the mayor, but my response was this: darn, there's some scared people out here.
Scared. Yes.
You know what I mean? So now my thought process is not anger, but almost like, what's the common sense of it? Is fear.
Mm-hmm.
It's fear. So your fear not to open your business, so you're gonna call somebody name.
Yeah.
It's fear that you can't make no money that you're used to making, but you can't make it anymore. So you decide to do. So you are control of your reactions of what you do when you are in a situation that's challenging. And how do you choose to persevere? Is that your way to persevere? Is call someone a name?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but that's not going to get you far. It won't go far within your spirit. You know, so how do you grow? You will always stay in that stuck person. You will be stuck there.
And you're going to get looked at by Miriam with a side eye after this virus if you have not grown.
Yes. We all have to find some kind of way to grow, and it's just so interesting. Like one of the things I noticed too, there's a lot of light coming out of the dark right now.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And you know what? And we're focused on the dark. So much of the news and the social media is focused on the dark. But so I love that you said that there's so much light coming out of the dark. What is some of that light?
Well, some of the light is not so good. It's just light. It's just shining a light on things that are not so good, and some are really, really good. Like the amazing thing that we're doing right now to connect, no matter what,
Right.
But there's gonna be a balance. We're gonna get both. What I believe is watching all the light come out, shining all the light on everything, and seeing where can you help.
Yes.
Where can you help? Where is your purpose? Because we're purpose-driven people. Where is God trying to guide us to help in this life? But if we're closing our eyes and we're like getting angry and we can't see, that's the issue. That's an underlining issue. So let's see what I can do about that. It's a mental illness. You have domestic violence. You have people who have issues as a child, haven't got through that. There's so many other things underlining. That doesn't mean, Pamela, that we have to be subjected to allowing ourselves to be mistreated or misused, but it's just the big picture. I remember when I was in corporate, this, one of my bosses, she would always tell me, let's look at the big picture and read between the lines. Yep. Look at things for face value, read between the lines, look at the big picture. And those little lessons and those seeds, those nuggets, they add to what we're living in our regular lives every day.
And when you look at the big picture, and the thing is, it's not about focusing on the behavior of the other person. You know, once you understand that there is a different experience that is going on with them, and these are in the words of Danelle Porcher, who comes on my show, that they are having a different experience. So it is your job to decide how you are going to respond and navigate your own life, you know, as a result of that.
To that.
So,
yes, I agree.
yeah.
I totally agree. And that, that builds you. Yeah,
right.
It builds you for greater people, to
yes.
be a greater person and for a greater world.
Good stuff. All right, stay with us on the Live Exchange, and we will be right back. All right, welcome back to the Live Exchange. I'm Dr. Pamela, and Robert Pierce is with us. He is on Facebook Live on the Sensation Station Network page, and he is commenting and questioning and all that good stuff. And we are joined by Miriam Frost, who is the founder and owner of Stella Power Yoga in Vinings, Georgia. So what we're talking about today is what it means in this midst of the crazy world and the craziness that's going on in the world, is how to live, love, and laugh in the spite of that, in spite of that. And it's such a great addition to have Miriam here, because my understanding of yoga is that it's really an approach to holistic health and wellness. And you gave 8 different types of yoga that, it speaks to, it covers everything. And so when we're talking about live, love, and laugh, yoga covers all of it. There's even a laugh yoga. So Robert has a question here, and he says, where can you find the yoga online classes and the times and all of that?
Okay. Well, you can go to our website. It's stellar-poweryoga.com. And right now we're offering around 20 classes virtually, and we're going to add some classes outside on a regular post pre-coronavirus. We had about 40 classes a week on the schedule.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so it's like half the and half the members, half the classes, but that's okay because there's so many things to learn in this process and to make adjustments to, which is what life is all about.
Yes.
This is the major one. Do I wear a mask or I don't wear a mask? Do I wear a mask at home or my car? Do I don't? So many small things and developing things. But yeah, you can go to our website, and if you're welcome to send me an email as well. Because I know some folks, they are beginners. They're not really sure which classes to start with. So I will guide you through that whole entire process. I will show you and tell you exactly what you're in for, whether you're coming to a studio like mine or you're going to maybe a Bikram studio or a different studio. I'll let you know so you're prepared when you walk into the door. You can send me an email at stellapoweryoga@gmail.com, and I will definitely answer those questions for you.
Bikram, you just drew a term out, and I've seen it. I've seen it in writing. What's a Bikram studio?
Bikram yoga is the one I was telling you that's really hot. So it's like
got it.
One and more, and it's they utilize only 26 poses. We have a lot more poses in yoga, but they emphasize 26 poses in that practice.
Got it. Okay. So a great idea. And Peasy Heads has actually just commented, and she said, "You're awesome, very knowledgeable."
Thank you.
And it really makes me think that, because there's so many things that we are doing to be innovative, to see each other, to spend time with each other. And I can see this being a way of getting all the girlfriends together or getting the family together, or, because it's virtual. I can see my son, who's in California, joining this, and he and my daughter and myself are all doing this together. What does this look like when it's being done? Is it kind of, do we see each other, or do we just see the instructor? How does this look?
That's a good question. So how we do, we have the option on Zoom to go into a gallery mode, or we can go into just the instructor view. So what I like to typically do is, what I'll do is I'll set it up for the teacher to teach, whether I'm teaching it or not, and then everybody will sit in a waiting room. Once the class begins, we'll bring the folks out of the waiting room, and then they'll go into the class, right? I'll begin to unmute everyone so that the teacher can talk to them, and he'll come over and we'll see the name. Hi, Lauren. Hi, Lisa, and just say hi. And they have the option if they want to be on video or not, so they can turn it off. And then we cue them. Okay, guys, I'm going to put you on mute now. Be sure you're on mute, because we don't want the background noise in someone's home, because everybody can hear it. everybody else can hear it. So as long as everyone's on mute, and then we begin class. And after class, again, we do the same thing. We unmute everyone. The teacher engages with the members. But one thing I do have to share that's really, really important, because I try to pay attention to what is being taught in every situation, a lesson. And when we first opened up those type of classes, and I would see their faces in these little boxes, Zoom boxes, there was such a depletion and almost dehydration and disheartedness in people's faces that I would see almost every day in the studio. Yeah. And it broke my spirit, because, and it made me want to give them more and more. Yeah. Just as clear as day. But this week that just passed, we're in the fifth week, and I was so enchanted by being able to see people's faces now, and there's an uplift in their faces. You can see, which something I never thought I could do, see is a connection like that on virtual. But I can see people feeling more and more uplifted. When I saw that, I knew that, fear don't have nothing on us. I love it. We're going in to take care of people.
Yeah, no, I mean, I love it. Like I said, I've been seeing all of these different industries really, figuring it out, how to get us connected. Kev on stage having couples karaoke night, the draft in the NFL draft was just done, and so virtually. So I commend you for what you're doing. We do have a couple of more questions, and we'll ask those when we get back. So we see your questions. Stay with us on the live exchange, and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back to the Live Exchange. I'm Dr. Pamela, and Robert Pierce is joining us on Facebook Live. And our guest today is Miriam Frost, and she is the founder and owner of Stella Power Yoga. And she's given us some great information about what our show topic is really speaking to, which is how to live, love, and laugh in these crazy times, and what it takes to really do that. We have a couple of questions on Facebook Live that I want to put out there. What if, and this one is from Robert Pierce, what if your body is not flexible? And that's a good question. I tried to do a high kick the other day, and I think I popped something.
So it's not about your body being flexible. It's about your mind being flexible. It's not about what poses you can get into and twisting up like a pretzel. No, it's about there is relentlessness, there's perseverance, there's courage, there's bravery to face everything that you're going through in life. You can notice how you react to it on your mat. Because if I say to you, go into a pose, and you have some resistance to that, that has nothing to do with me. It's you working on yourself, within yourself. So finding out, why am I resisting to bend my knee? Why am I resisting my shoulders? Now, the flexibility has nothing to do with the kind of pose, because we have all types of beginner, intermediate yoga. So there's always props that we use. So if you can't get into a certain pose, we have pillows, we have blocks, or we have things that you can use. Like if you can't touch your toes and you're sitting on the floor, we have a strap that you can use. So we will help you progress to the pose physically, which is only the asana, to get to what you want to be in. But again, the 8 limbs of yoga, the pose, the flexibility of the body is just one piece of it. Everything else goes from, how are you beating yourself up? Are you saying, I can't do this and I want to give up? I don't like the teacher. What are you saying inside of yourself? That flexibility that you need to have, the mindfully willingness to get involved, and then the heart and tenacity to stay involved. When I first did yoga, I was doing fitness for years prior to this, and I got my butt beat. I got challenged, and I was like, I was mad, so I couldn't do the poses, but that's what kept me coming back. But what kept me in it was what I learned about myself.
Wow. So, and that's so powerful, because we are right now being challenged to really mind over matter, to just put it simply, because we don't know what's going to happen in 2 weeks. We don't know what the world's going to look like in a month. And that requires so much of our mind. And it's showing us, like you said, it's shining light on certain places. It's shining light on certain aspects of ourselves that we need, to know about, that we need to be aware of. So, wow.
Yes, ma'am. The things
So
that I share.
Well, you mentioned the 8 limbs of yoga, and for those who weren't with us in the very beginning, could you just give us those 8 limbs again?
Sure. So you have the breath, which is pranayama. You have the postures, which is the asanas. You have concentration, focus. You have meditation. You have a detachment from your senses. And you have the 2, which I like to work on, is self morals and society morals. Is how you treat yourself and how you treat others. And then you have samadhi, which is the bliss, is that sense of feeling peace. So whatever yoga you do, this is the principle, the 8 limbs. The 8 limbs we're working on these 8 limbs throughout the entire whatever we do. When we say the practice of yoga is practicing on getting better at focus, at meditation, at the poses, physical. And if you notice, the only one out of the 8 limbs is the asana, being able to touch your toes or kick your leg up. And there's a reason for that. And the reason is to achieve the ultimate, which is what we want, peace and bliss. It's nice. Can you imagine just being like, not having a care in the world, and you just feeling all peaceful inside, and then your body hurts. Mm-hmm. Can't do it. You can't have peace if your body hurts. That's why the movement and the strengthening of the body is important in asanas, if that makes sense.
It does.
What I want to share with you is something I share with the class, typically at the end of class. And what I share with people is we are in control of the paths that we take. I'm in control of if I want to go down this street or that street. I'm in control if I want to talk to I'm in control of things that I choose to do based on the information that I have, but I'm not in control of the results.
Yeah.
So that is a whole different avenue.
The attachment. Yeah.
Yeah. So if we're not in control of the result, we should feel solace just so that we know that we are doing what we have. We're doing the best that we can for the paths that we have control of.
Well, and no matter what the result is, when we get there, we get to navigate and make a decision about how we respond to the result at that time. We have to know that no matter what the results are, if we are quarantined for 2 more weeks or we're quarantined for 2 more years, God forbid, we have the control to decide what we do with that.
Exactly. That path.
Every single day. Yep. Yes. Yep. All right. Well, we're going to come back. When we come back, we want to address Natalie Harden's question, which is which class is best for beginners. So we haven't forgotten you, Natalie. We're definitely going to deal with that question when we come back. All right. Welcome back to the Live Exchange. I'm Dr. Pamela, and Robert Pierce is joining us on Facebook Live. And here joining me also is Miriam Frost, who is the founder of Stella Power Yoga. And we've just been talking about all the amazing, benefits of yoga. But we had a question from Natalie Harden. She was asking, which class is best for beginners?
Well, the beginner classes would be a meditation class, a deep stretch class, or a class called Hot Sequence, which is, it's not our typical power flow, which is more athletic type of class, where it builds you up to get to those classes like a power flow class.
Okay, nice, very nice. All right, yeah, and the meditation one, I think probably the most common thing you might hear from newbies to meditation is that they fall asleep, or they can't focus, or they're thinking too hard, or Yeah.
For the most part, I think if it's a long duration of meditation, you can possibly fall asleep. I've had people fall asleep in my class, and I'm like, wow, they really needed to rest. I'm good with that.
So they shouldn't feel guilty then.
No, not at all. But it's a practice, because meditation is not easy. You have to practice being still and being alert and observing your own thoughts. That's what meditation is observing your own thoughts. So a lot of people think that it's like clearing your mind. It's almost impossible to clear your mind, but you can refocus. You can refocus your thoughts to something else, like your body, your breath, and then now you're observing your thoughts and you're getting to know yourself. Love it.
Yeah, I mean, so there's you've talked about a lot of different benefits, and there were a couple of different points that I found on just looking at, Harvard's discussion of yoga, and there were just some specific ones that you actually probably touched on these, but I wanted to highlight them. That one thing was natural anxiety relief. And there's a lot of anxiety going on right now, and I think what better thing to do than to just get still and get quiet, meditate, do some yoga. There's two more, and I'll just let you respond to those. Stress response. So, we've got the anxiety, but also stress. How do we, better manage stress? And then I think those were the main two. Because
Well, the anxiety is when we have a build-up anxiety, we're anticipating something in the future. So we're not present moment. So in order to relieve yourself from looking into the past is hard, because we're always going on the next thing, especially even now. That's why I had to take those 2 weeks off, because we're always to the next thing. What do we do next? A lot of this situation has caused a lot of anxiety in people. We had it before this. It just elevated, right? But actually looking too far into the future, oftentimes depression is looking too far in the back and staying there.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't realize that.
If we look in the future, we're looking for balance, right? So we have balance, and the focus in one of the 8 limbs is about balance. We do a lot of balancing pose, because if you focus, you maintain your balance a lot better. Focus, right? So if you have anxiety and you're looking into the future and you have feeling depressed because you're staying in the past, we try to bring you into the present moment so you can start focusing on something that's now. So we start by allowing you and teaching you how to focus on your breath. Yeah, your mind's going to wander, but you're going to, there's a will, there's a way. You want to learn this stuff, you're going to keep coming, and we cue you. We're there to coach you, and come back to your breath. Don't think about only your breath. And every time you lose it, come right back to your breath. And all of a sudden, 5 minutes goes by, 10 minutes go by. You start learning to increase that meditation. Now you're doing a 30-minute meditation. You didn't even realize it.
Wow. I really love, what you're saying about the past and the future and not being in the present. I think that one of the most important keys to survival right now is staying in the present, more so than any other time. And, because the danger in going too far into the future, and too far in the future can be a week from today, because honestly, we don't even know what a week from today is going to look like. It's hard to even plan for that. So if we can just stay in today and look into tomorrow. But I see a lot of people also going into the past. Oh, I remember when I was at the beach, or gosh, I remember when we used to be able to, just go sit in a restaurant. And, and so I love that you said that, because it, to me, tells us we need to be careful about where we're letting our thoughts wander. If it's too far into the past or the future, we need to stay right here, right now.
And honestly, it's not bad to go in the future and in the past, just long enough to appreciate the present moment. Yeah, because we're going to go back and forth. We have to keep moving forward, and we have to learn from our mistakes.
Of course, but when it starts to trigger anxiety and depression, we've got to be aware.
But how do we do that? What are we saying to ourselves to say, I need to be in the present moment? Because it's not easy. Like, you can choose to be in the present moment, but why? Well, why I want to be in the present moment, because if it hadn't been for my past, I wouldn't be where I am now. And I know where I'm going, but I need to take my pace at going where I can see, okay, I have a 3-year plan, a 2-year plan, 1-year plan, 6-month plan. That's fantastic. However, I want to appreciate the tenacity that I have to go get that. I need to appreciate who I am to be able to do that right now.
Right. And I love it. Have your plans. Please, by all means, make plans. And there's a difference between having a 6-month plan and looking 6 months from now and saying, oh my God, our world is going to be X, Y, or 6 months. What kind of future thinking are we nurturing, in this process? And so, yes, plan, don't pause life. If you've got a wedding in 6 months, plan it and have an alternative, but by all means, but try to be careful not to go into that gloom and doom, or not to sit in it, because sometimes our mind just goes there,
and be sad. And then we're sitting there sad in the future. That doesn't even make sense.
Come back.
Being sad in the future No, it's just looking at it just enough so that we can say we have something. I like to build what I have inside of me to say I can. This is what I have to get that. So I'm comfortable where I'm sitting right now because that's coming.
Gonna get me there. Oh, that's good stuff. That's really
like your tenacity and your drive and your determination and bravery, all that good stuff that lives in you. Sometimes we forget it lives in us and we're just running to the future.
Yeah. Well, I'm since our producer is sitting right here in front of us, I'm going to ask. I'm just going to be candid and ask. So we're going into research, or should I should I just go into it right now, or
yeah,
I could do that. Okay. All right. So the research I thought was interesting, and it's really this is looking at how different leaders around the world are dealing with coronavirus. And the reason why I found this to be so intriguing is because we can adopt these strategies in our own lives. So this is an article that is from the New York Times, and it says what countries with the best coronavirus responses have in common. And it just so happens that those countries are countries who have leaders who are women. And it's like really amazing to see. And they talk about countries, like Iceland. Wait. Maybe I'm reading the wrong countries here. Oh, so Angela Merkel, who is the Chancellor of Germany, for example, and she stood up calmly and told her country that this is a serious bug that would infect up to 70 people. It's serious. Let's take it seriously. So what they're saying here, her strategy is truth. I'm going to tell you guys the truth. And we're going to face the truth, and we are going to address the truth. There's no sugarcoat, there's no tweaking, there's no game, bait and switch, none of that. I'm going to be honest with you. So that was the first strategy. The next one was decisiveness, meaning I am going to make a decision, and we are going to move, and we're going to act on this. We're not going to hem and haw on this. We don't have time for that. Oh, that is like my favorite phrase. We don't have time for that. It's like, calm down. We don't have time. So Cinda Ardern of New Zealand was early to lock down and crystal clear on the maximum alert that she was putting the country under. And so the next one is technology. So Iceland, under the leadership of Prime Minister Katrín, and I'm not going to try to say this last name, is offering free coronavirus testing to all of its citizens and will become a key case study in true spread and fatality rates in COVID-19, which is interesting because this is the innovation, this is the technology. Everybody's getting testing. Is there any state in the United States where everybody's getting testing? Like, what? So that's one. That's the third one. And then the fourth principle is love, which I love. Norway's Prime Minister Erna Solberg had the innovative idea of using television to talk directly to her country's children. She was building on a 3-minute press conference, and she decided to dedicate a press conference where no adults were allowed. It was just for the children. Like, come on, I love it. And so so really, in a nutshell, these 4 principles are truth. So be honest and truthful. And I'm applying this to ourselves now. How do we use this for ourselves to survive, to have the best responses to coronavirus? Truth. Decisiveness. Decide what is your strategy and put it into place and work that strategy. Tech. Look at, we're using tech right here. Technology, innovation, and then the last one is love. How do you give love? How do you get love? How do you surround yourself and envelop yourself with love? And I mean, the article with the fullness of its depth is phenomenal in terms of the strategies of these leaders and the results, because they have the lowest cases. I think like New Zealand had like 14 maybe, and 4 deaths. You know, it was really small. And so I believe that those same strategies they used as leaders are the same strategies we can use as individuals: truth, decisiveness, technology, and love. And I parallel this with much of what you've said today about our mind.
Yes, ma'am. No, I totally agree. When you start talking about it, the first thing that came to my mind is we already do that now. And one of the things I was about to, right before the coronavirus hit, Oprah was having a show taped, and I was invited to come. And they asked you some questions. And the question was, to me, was, what do you think women have the greatest challenge that we have? Not taking away from anything from men, because men have their own challenges,
Right.
and it's credibility. Credibility. And these women, what you just expressed is the greatest recognition of their credibility, which means a lot. And that says it all right there.
Yeah.
Trust, honesty, technology, and love. That's the credibility that we all, we as women, we possess. And I don't think it's emphasized as great as it is.
It's not. And we're going to do a whole show on this because I think you're absolutely right. All right. Stay with us and we'll be right back. All right. So this week's balance challenge, I gave it earlier in the show. And so I'm going to give it to you again, that this week's balance challenge is actually brought to you by the Academy of Creative Coaching. And by the way, the Academy of Creative Coaching, we have just graduated our latest class of certified coaches as of 6 o'clock Eastern time this evening. So they are newly minted certified coaches. And this was a group out of Toronto. We are training people all over the world, and Toronto was this week, and we did it virtually. So awesome, and congratulations. If you are interested in becoming a certified coach, go to academyofcreativecoaching.com. So this week's balance challenge is actually interesting because we have written laughter into our curriculum and humor into our curriculum for coaching because it is an effective strategy. But the balance challenge this week is to let your laughter be your internal massage. Laugh this week. Every day this week, I want you to find a reason to laugh and be very intentional about it. And just to give you a few benefits of laughing, one of them is it makes you look younger. Who knew? People are always so worried about laugh lines. Laughter makes you look younger. You can gain more self-confidence through laughter. It alleviates depression and anxiety. It alleviates high blood pressure. It is a natural painkiller. And that's actually one of the questions that I am going to pose to Miriam too about pain management and yoga. It alleviates bronchitis and asthma. It improves stamina in athletes. And it is a way of internally jogging. So check it out. Find a way to laugh every single day this week. You are going to feel so much better this time next week. And we'll be right back. All right, welcome back to the Live Exchange. I'm Dr. Pamela, and Robert Pierce has joined us on Facebook Live. And our guest today is Miriam Frost, who is the founder and owner of Stella Power Yoga. And she has been giving us some amazing information regarding mindfulness and just health and wellness and holistic health and all of those things without using any of those words. But I know what she's talking about. So Miriam, can you do a demonstration for us and just kind of show us something that we might be able to just kind of take with us?
Sure, and just if you don't mind me saying, I'm glad that we didn't use those same words because I want people to have a greater understanding of what's actually happening when they do yoga.
Yes.
So if you just close your eyes for a moment. We're going to do a 3-part breath. Just close your eyes for a moment and just notice your breath. Just notice it. Don't try to change it. Don't try to make anything different. Just notice it. Good. Now, notice if you can allow your body to relax. Good. Now take a complete full inhalation in. Hold that inhalation at the top. Hold it for 5, 4, 3, no peeking, 2, exhale it out and hold it at the bottom where you let all the air out at the bottom. Now breathe in, full complete breath. Hold it at the top. Take a little more air in. Exhale it out. Now complete exhale out and hold it at the bottom. 2 more like that. Inhale, fill up. Hold up at the top. You're increasing your lung capacity. Exhale, release and cleanse out. This time, inhale, courage. Notice how strong that inhale is. Exhale fear. Let it out, giving yourself permission. And open your eyes. Just a tad bit. Yes, ma'am. Just a tad bit of what you already have inside of you. That courage, you feel that engagement. Oh, nothing can happen unless you allow it to. So when you pull in these power words like courage and fearlessness, determination and love and compassion, and you feel it and you have like doubt and insecurities and you let that stuff out, what are you left with? You're left with only what you choose to keep.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
And that's what the whole practice is about. It's about working on yourself from the inside out. And it's that deep. And one of the things I want to share with you ladies is, in the audience is, this is an all-together effort. When I mean all together, there's so many things that we're not doing that we should be starting to do or do more of to boost our immune system so that we as a society can be healthy and strong enough to deal with anything physical, mental, spiritually, or emotional. All of it, right? And just like one of the teachers here, he does these stones. I don't know anything about a stone, but he has these understandings of how stones, certain types of stones, help heal you, calm you, and release you. Whether it's the truth or not, is coming from a good place, and it's understood that certain stones help and feel a certain way, allow you to feel a certain way. So we add that to what we do. Then you have another young lady who started to sell sea moss. Sea moss is supposed to be this big, beautiful minerals, full of minerals, like 92 minerals out of 100 that we need in our bodies. Feed our souls. Yes, feed our spirit with things that we need. Learn about it, engage about it. I was going into this dialogue is, what else can I do besides yoga that will give my member community a big virtual hug from me? That vegan food, things that are healthy, recipes, anything that is naturally healing. For folks, I feel like this is an opportunity for all of us to come together and find things that are most natural and work it into our family and friends and share it. I'm a believer that no matter how much information we give out, we could never be depleted, because you can't be depleted from love. You can't give all the love you can. You'll never be depleted from it, because love is so enormous. And that's what I want to do. So I want to take this to another level and say, what can I now how can I holistically help people? I can share this good internal information, but what can we do physically to our bodies to help us fight and not be the people that they say is, we have underlying health issues. Right.
Well, and there's so many different strategies that people have used to address some of these, health issues. You mentioned a vegan diet. And I know Robert Pierce has just, he transitioned into a vegan diet and talked about the abundance of health benefits that he experienced as a result. And maybe that may not be for everybody, but there are different things we have to get in tune. What we need, what's going to work for us. The question I wanted to ask you was about chronic pain. And I know that one person had asked about, what's the best classes, to take for beginners. And another one asked, what if you're not flexible? And I'm sure these are common. So what about people who are experiencing chronic pain and it's just like physically they can't do certain things that would be,
we have deep stretch. Remember I was telling you about the pillows? We have the deep stretch and the meditation to get you there. But oftentimes, believe it or not, we do have physical pains. A lot of the pain is emotional, and we can't get past those emotional pains. So we say to ourselves, we can't. And then next thing you know, we have a pose called crow pose. If somebody do crow pose, like everybody claps, because that crow pose, if you do it, you know that you persevere through that barrier and you took fear, and it's not super dangerous. You're just on your hands. But the thing is, it's like physical pain is going to exist. So we use blankets and we'll modify, even when you're at home, we'll tell you, make sure you have your prop, your pillows, your blankets, whatever you need. But please understand, anatomy is part of our training. So anatomy tells us that if you don't use it, you lose it. Okay. So our bodies, as we get older, starts to decline this way. So what yoga does, it defies gravity and takes us the opposite direction.
Wow.
Exactly.
So wait, so you mean like, so can I learn how to do the split? I used to be a gymnast back in the day.
Yes, you can. If your body has muscle memory, you can probably get back into poses that you never thought you could ever again, love. It's practice. Yes, ma'am. You can do that
So
split.
it's not over for us.
Yes, I didn't do a split until I was in my 30s. I'm telling you,
Wow.
you can do things and I never was able to do it as a youngster. So,
wow.
So you can take your body to the next, but it's the mindset. It's taking care of yourself, eating right, putting the right things in. Fast food is killing us, really, literally.
Yeah.
And just we have to, it's not going to be cold turkey, but it's a practice. It's a practice of being, if we don't learn anything about coronavirus, please let us all have learned that we have to take care of ourselves better, physically, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally.
Yes, yes. And once again, can you share what your philosophy was about, fasting in those 4 different areas? Because I think that's powerful. I'm living it, which is why I love it so much. And I feel amazing, but go ahead.
So what my thoughts were, because I know people like, people want answers. They want to know, okay, you're telling me all this good stuff, all this stuff sounds good, but where can I start? You can start with fasting. It doesn't have to be like 2 days or 3 days. It could be, for a couple of hours a day. You don't eat between 6 at night till 6 in the morning or something. If you're fasting, social media, we got to pull back. It's good to receive what we need to do business, but we can't turn over, and that's the first thing that we pull out is our phone. Social media. And it's a programming unlike TV.
Yeah.
Social media is like, when they did TV, they programmed us, right? But now this is a whole different ball game.
It's a whole different,
Alcohol, pull back from alcohol, pull back from certain types of food. It doesn't have to be all food, certain types of food. Maybe if you're a fast food person, maybe leave that alone for a minute, for a month or so. Fast on something, because there's something about fasting that gives us information that we didn't know.
Yeah.
Right? Exercise every day. And the fasting, of course, is going to bring us clarity. The exercising every day is going to build what we show the world, our outside confidence. And the meditation and yoga is going to build the inside, the self-esteem. Here's another 2 things too. I like to pick 3 people that I follow for at least 3 to 6 months. So you were one of them when I first met you. Yeah, absolutely. Because I admire you. And you admire someone. So I like John Hope Bryant. I would pick certain people. And then I would follow them for 3 to 6 months. John Hope Bryant, I still follow him because I did some work for him. And then what you do is this is to get us inspired and remain inspired through this trying time, because we feel kind of down, right? So if someone inspires you, follow 3 people, 3 to 6 months. And then after that, pick another, maybe drop one person off, drop one.
That's good.
And then keep those other 3, bring one more person, but you still have the other 2. So you're not.
I love that.
You keep doing that, and what that's going to happen is you're going to remain inspired. So I have a list of people that I turn and when I get up and I start to, I look at these 3 people and I look at what they've done. And sometimes they may not have done anything for a week, and that's cool. That gives me time to do something else, but at least it helps me to see to try to catch up on something that can inspire me.
Right.
And then again, and also too, I think in yoga we talk about staying grounded, down to earth, not letting the ego get all out of control. And I feel that my groundedness comes from helping others. So I take care of my mom, 15 years. She's 90 years old now. And
she's beautiful.
It's very difficult, but it keeps me grounded because I know how difficult it is to be like, Ma, I just don't hear that right now. But I have to, and I lose myself sometimes. But it helps when you help someone else, you stay grounded. There's since we've been closed here, there's a homeless guy that's outside, and I took the initiative to begin to talk to him. Lo and behold, talking to him, I realized that he's probably one of the smartest people that I've ever come across. He's so articulate. I don't know
I love it.
what happened to his story, but he's sitting outside right now. And and to me, that groundedness, the humility that you shared with another human being, walking by and pretending like I don't see him, I just said, you know what? I'm not going to make it a habit, but I'm going to say, hey, the brother started talking to me.
I love it. So I'm just gonna give you a warning. We've got about a minute to go, so I want to make sure that you're able to kind of let everybody also know where and how to find you.
Absolutely. And I just want to share one more thing real quick. Whatever project we've been working on, don't hold it back no more. Grab that project that you've been saying that you're going to work on. Do that, Corona. Call it Corona, and work on that thing. Don't let that go. Don't let this.
Here it is.
There you go.
Coloring book.
All right. So where you can find me, I am at Stella Power Yoga on Instagram. Please follow me. I'm sharing so much information and sharing other people's information as well. You'll see our class schedule on our website at www.stellar-poweryoga.com. You can email me at stellapoweryoga.com. I will respond to you. Any questions, I'll give you the best answers that I have. And if I don't know where to get those answers, that you have to be specific and have integrity in my response, I will send you to the person that I believe can give you the best information for that answer. We have right now 5 teachers. We come in here in the studio. We do the virtual classes from here. There's maximum 3 in the room at a time. We want you to feel like you're home here with us until we start doing classes outside, and then until this curve evens out or declines, and then we go in the studio.
All right. Woo! This has been amazing. I know it's gone so fast, just like it did last time you were here. But thank you so much for joining us. Please definitely reach out. Go to check out Miriam's classes. I definitely will be doing that. And just as a final little nugget, this is a challenging time for all of us in different ways. We may find some benefit and some growth in this, but think about the ways that you have overcome in the past from everything that we've overcome. From Instagram page of It's Stormy Baby, she says, write yourself a letter about everything you made it through, and then read it every time you think you can't make it through. So that's just a little nugget for you. Remind yourself of how you've done it before, so you can know that you can do it again. All right. Well, thank you so much again, Miriam. Thank you, Robert. Thank you, Versus. And we will see you all next week on the live exchange every Sunday night from 6 to 8. Remember, when we dialogue better, we do better.
Namaste. Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.